Ambassador Jin walked through the long corridor of Paramount Station with calm steps. The walls were made of white crystal that glowed with soft blue light. This was the heart of the Galactic Council, where 12 species gathered to rule the galaxy together. Humanity had been a provisional member for 12 years now, and believed this summit would bring them closer to full membership. Behind her walked Admiral Sung in his black uniform. He was a veteran of many battles, and his eyes moved constantly, watching everything around them. 3 small escort ships waited outside the station, carrying his crew of 500 soldiers. It was a small force, meant only for protection during diplomatic missions. "Something feels wrong," said quietly. Glanced at him. "You always say that." "I am always right." She could not argue with this. Had survived 30 years of military service by trusting his instincts. But today was supposed to be simple. Trade negotiations, cultural exchanges, nothing more. The message from the council had been very clear about this. They entered the great chamber where the council met. It was a circular room with 12 elevated seats arranged in a half circle. Each seat belonged to a different species. They sat in the center, their skin and 4 eyes making them look cold and calculating. Their leader watched the humans enter with an expression that could not read. The representative, high speaker, stood at the central platform. His tall, thin body was covered in silver robes, and his 3-fingered hands were folded in front of him. They were known as mediators, always seeking peace between species. "Welcome, Ambassador," said. His voice was soft but carried through the entire chamber. "Please take your position." Move to the small platform designated for provisional members. It was lower than the council seats, a reminder that humanity had not yet earned equal standing. She had accepted this for 12 years, believing that patience would bring respect. She noticed something strange. There were more guards in the chamber than usual. Soldiers stood at every entrance, their weapons visible. Other species had brought security forces too. This was not normal for a trade summit. "High Speaker," said carefully, "may I ask why there is such heavy security today?" Did not answer. Instead rose from his seat, his 4 eyes fixed on with cold intensity. "We are here today to discuss the future of humanity in this council," announced. His voice was harsh, like stones grinding together. "New evidence has come to our attention, evidence of human aggression against peaceful species." Felt her heart beat faster, but she kept her face calm. "What evidence?" A holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed a planet covered in green forests and blue oceans. Recognized it as 7, a colony world. The image changed to show ships in orbit. They were human vessels, or at least they looked like human vessels. As the council watched, the ships opened fire on the planet below. Cities burned. People died. The destruction was complete and terrible. "This attack happened 3 days ago," said. "Human warships murdered 50,000 civilians without warning or reason." "That is impossible," said firmly. "Our ships have not left Earth's territory in weeks. I would know if any military action had been taken." "The evidence is clear," another spoke. This was the representative, a being made of living rock. "We have the ship's signatures. They are human." Turned to Admiral. He shook his head slightly. There was no way this was real. "I demand an investigation," said loudly. "Humanity has the right to examine this evidence and prove our innocence. This is required by council law." Council law also allows emergency measures when a species threatens galactic peace, replied. "We will now vote on revoking humanity's provisional membership and placing your species under permanent quarantine." The vote happened quickly, too quickly. Realized that this had been planned long before today. 7 species voted in favor of quarantine. Only 3 voted against. 2 abstained, including High Speaker, who looked troubled but said nothing. "The vote passes," announced with satisfaction. "Human representatives will be detained for questioning. Your escort ships will be impounded." Guards moved toward and the Admiral's hand went to his weapon but stopped him. "No," she whispered, "we cannot win this fight, not here." Outside the station, the 3 human escort ships found themselves surrounded. 40 Council warships had appeared from behind the station's structure. They had been hiding, waiting for this moment. Captain of the escort ship Vigilance sent an urgent message. "Admiral, we are surrounded. What are your orders?" Could not answer. The guards had already taken his communication device. His mind worked fast. She had one chance. Her neural implant could send a burst transmission directly to Earth using Council communication networks. The message would be brief, but it would reach home. She activated the implant while pretending to stumble. The guards grabbed her arms roughly. In that moment, she sent everything. The fake evidence, the vote, the trap, all of it went to Earth in a single encrypted burst. Then the guards jammed all frequencies. No more messages could leave the station. "Take them to holding cells," ordered. "Treat them well. We are not monsters. We simply cannot allow humanity to threaten the peace of the galaxy." As guards led her away, looked back at the council chamber. She saw speaking quietly with their expressions pleased. They believed they had won. They believed humanity was contained. Almost smiled. These aliens had known humanity for 12 years, but they understood nothing about her species. They saw humans as young, weak, and easy to control. They did not know what humanity could do when pushed into a corner. In her cell, she sat down and waited. The message had reached Earth. She was certain of this. Now everything depended on what her people would do next. Admiral was placed in the cell beside hers. Through the energy barrier that separated them, he looked at her with steady eyes. "They will come for us," he said. "Yes," agreed. "The question is what else they will bring with them." Far away, at the edge of the solar system, humanity had kept secrets. Big secrets. The kind of secrets that could change the balance of power in the entire galaxy. The Council thought they knew everything about humanity's military strength. They were wrong. They were very, very wrong. Stood at the observation window of Paramount Station, watching the human ships being towed away. In 30 days, a combined fleet would travel to Earth and take control of humanity's home world. The ancient gateway technology that humans had discovered would belong to the Council. Everything was going according to plan. He did not know that his plan had already failed. He did not know that his actions today would bring consequences beyond anything he could imagine. The betrayal was complete, but the story was only beginning. The message arrived at Luna Base 17 minutes after Ambassador sent it. Intelligence Director Shin Na was the first to read it. Her face remained calm as she studied the data, but inside, her blood ran cold. She walked quickly through the underground corridors of humanity's military headquarters. Luna Base was buried deep beneath the moon's surface, protected by 3 kilometers of rock and metal. It was the safest place in the solar system and the center of humanity's defense network. Fleet Admiral Park Dongwoo was waiting in the command center. He was a tall man with hair and eyes that had seen too many battles. When Shin entered, he already knew something was wrong. "Report," he said simply. Shin placed a data pad on the table between them. Ambassador sent a burst transmission from Paramount Station. "The Council has betrayed us. They voted to quarantine humanity and imprison our delegation. Our escort ships have been captured." Park picked up the data pad and read the details. His expression did not change, but Shin noticed his hands tighten slightly around the device. "The evidence they presented," he said, "human ships attacking a colony." "Fake," Shin replied. "Our analysts confirmed it within minutes. The ship signatures were from old records. The attack itself was staged, orchestrated everything." Park set down the data pad. "So it finally happened." "Sorry. We always knew this day might come, Director. Humanity joined the Council hopping for friendship and trade, but we never trusted them completely. That is why we prepared." Shin nodded. She had spent 20 years building humanity's intelligence network across the galaxy. She had agents on dozens of worlds, including some within the Council itself. For the past 6 months, her operatives had been sending warnings about secret meetings between and other. "I have more information," she said. "The conspiracy includes 5 species, and the Tauran. They have been planning this for at least 2 years. Their motivation: fear." Shin pulled up another display showing human technological development over the past century. "We advanced too quickly. In 100 years, we went from nuclear weapons to fold space travel. We discovered the ancient gateway network before any other species. The Council sees us as a threat." Park studied the data. "What are their plans?" "Invasion. They are assembling a fleet in space. 800 warships. They plan to attack Earth in 30 days and seize control of our gateway research." The room was silent for a long moment. 800 warships was an overwhelming force. The entire human fleet, according to public records, consisted of only 50 combat vessels. The math was simple. Humanity would lose. But public records did not tell the complete story. Park activated his personal communicator. "Get me Captain." 5 minutes later, Captain Junho appeared on the main display. He was aboard the stealth reconnaissance vessel Silent Dawn, currently positioned near space. His face was tired but alert. "Admiral," said, "I assume you received the ambassador's message." "I did. What can you tell me about the invasion fleet?" "I have footage," transmitted the data. The screen filled with images of massive warships gathering in formation. There were hundreds of them, bristling with weapons. "They are not being subtle about it. They believe we have no way to stop them." Park watched the footage without speaking. Then he turned to Shin. "It is time," he said. "Contact Vice Admiral, activate Project Horizon." Shin felt a chill run down her spine. She had known about Project Horizon for years, but hearing the order to activate it made everything suddenly real. "Understood, sir." Park walked to the observation window that looked out over the command center. Below, hundreds of officers worked at their stations, monitoring humanity's defense grid. They did not know what was coming. They did not know what humanity had been building in secret. "Director," Park said without turning around, "how long have we been preparing for this?" 23 years, Shin replied, "since the first year we joined the Council. And in all that time, the Council never suspected." "No, sir, we were very careful. The shipyards in the cloud are completely hidden from their sensors. Our agents made sure of that." Park nodded slowly. "I remember when we started, everyone thought I was paranoid. They said the Council would accept us as equals. They said there was no need for secret weapons." "You were right to be cautious." "I hoped I was wrong." Park finally turned to face her. His eyes were sad but determined. "I spent my whole career hoping we would never need what we built, but now that the moment has come, I feel no satisfaction, only necessity." Shin understood. They were about to change the galaxy forever. Nothing would be the same after this. "What about Ambassador and Admiral?" she asked. "They are still prisoners." "They will be rescued," Park said firmly. "That is part of the plan. But first, we must show the Council what happens when they underestimate humanity." He walked to the central command station and activated the base-wide communication system. His voice echoed through every corridor of Luna Base. "Attention all personnel. This is Fleet Admiral Park. As of this moment, Earth is under threat of invasion. The Galactic Council has betrayed us and plans to attack our home, but we are not helpless. We are not afraid. Humanity has faced extinction before and survived. We will survive this too." He paused, letting his words sink in. "Today, we reveal what we have kept hidden for 20 years. Today, the galaxy learns what humanity can truly do. All departments prepare for war. Project Horizon is now active." Throughout Luna Base, officers exchanged shocked looks. Project Horizon was just a rumor to most of them, a story about secret weapons that nobody really believed. In the cloud, far beyond the orbit of Pluto, enormous shipyard doors began to open. Inside, 200 warships waited in darkness. Their hulls were black as space, their weapons beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. They had been built in secret, crewed by volunteers who had lived in isolation for years. Vice Admiral Bai stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Vigilance. She received the activation order and allowed herself a small smile. "All ships," she announced through the fleet-wide channel, "power up main systems. We have work to do." Back on Luna Base, Park looked out at the stars through the reinforced observation window. "They wanted humanity contained," he said quietly, almost to himself. "They should have made sure we stayed weak." The Council had made a terrible mistake. They had pushed humanity into a corner, believing there was no escape. They did not understand that humans were most dangerous when they had nothing left to lose. War was coming to the galaxy, and humanity was ready. The cloud was the darkest place in the solar system. Trillions of ice chunks floated in endless cold, far from the warmth of the sun. Nothing lived here. Nothing was supposed to exist here. But humanity had built something extraordinary in this frozen darkness. Vice Admiral Bai stood on the observation deck of Shipyard Omega, watching the fleet come to life. 200 warships powered up their systems, their running lights creating a constellation of blue and white against the black of space. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. 20 years, she said softly. "We have been waiting 20 years for this moment." Chief Engineer Ryu Sangmin stood beside her, data pad in hand. He was a thin man with tired eyes and permanent grease stains on his fingers. He had spent most of his adult life designing these ships. "All systems are operational," Ryu reported. "The fleet is ready for deployment." Turned to face him. "Tell me again what we are taking into battle." Ryu smiled slightly. He loved talking about his creations. 40 carriers, each holding 300 autonomous fighter drones. The drones are controlled by human pilots through neural links. One pilot can command an entire squadron with the speed of thought. And the main warships. 160 battle cruisers. Each one is 3 times more powerful than anything the Council has. Our shields use technology we reverse-engineered from the ancient gateways. They do not just block energy weapons. They absorb them and convert the energy to power our own systems. Nodded. She had studied the specifications many times, but hearing them again before battle gave her confidence. "What about our weapons?" "Phase cannons," Ryu said with obvious pride. "They bypass conventional shields entirely. Council ships have no defense against them. One hit can disable an enemy vessel without destroying it." "We want to disable, not destroy." "Those are Fleet Admiral Park's orders. We show strength, not cruelty. We win the war without becoming monsters." Understood. Humanity could easily wipe out the Council fleet completely, but that would make them feared, not respected. The goal was to demonstrate power while showing mercy. It was a difficult balance but essential for the future. She walked through the shipyard toward the Eternal Vigilance. The flagship was the largest vessel in the fleet, half a kilometer long with weapons that could level a small moon. Its black hull seemed to swallow light, making it nearly invisible against space. Lieutenant Commander Oda was waiting at the boarding ramp. She was young but experienced, having served under for 5 years. Her specialty was weapons systems, and she knew the Eternal Vigilance better than anyone. "Vice Admiral," O said with a salute, "all weapons are charged and ready. Crews are at battle stations." "Casualties?" asked. "None expected on our side. The simulations show complete tactical superiority." Paused. "Simulations are not reality. Tell the crews to stay alert. We do not know everything about Council technology." Yes, sir. They boarded the flagship together. The interior was clean and efficient, designed for function rather than comfort. Crew members moved through the corridors with purpose, preparing for the mission ahead. On the bridge took her command chair. 20 officers surrounded her, each monitoring different aspects of the ship. The main display showed the fleet in formation, waiting for orders. A communication came through from Luna Base. Fleet Admiral Park's face appeared on screen. Vice Admiral Park said, "Status report. The Shadow Fleet is ready, sir. 200 ships fully armed and crewed. We can depart on your command." Park nodded slowly. "You know the mission parameters. The Council fleet is assembling near the border. They plan to invade Earth in 29 days. You will intercept them before they can launch." Understood. Rules of engagement. Disable rather than destroy when possible. We want survivors to spread the word about human capabilities. However, if any ship threatens Earth or our people, you have full authority to use lethal force. Yes, sir. One more thing. Park's voice softened slightly. Ambassador and Admiral are still held at Paramount Station. A rescue team will launch once the main battle is complete. Bring our people home. I will not fail them, promised. The connection ended. Turned to her bridge crew. Navigation. Plot a course to the border. Use the uncharted routes we mapped over the past decade. We will arrive undetected. Course plotted, the navigation officer responded. Travel time, 18 hours through fold space. Excellent. Opened a channel to the entire fleet. All ships, this is Vice Admiral. For 20 years we have trained in secret. We have prepared for a war we hoped would never come. Today, that war begins. She paused, looking at the faces of her crew. They were calm, focused, ready. The Council believes humanity is weak. They believe they can invade our home and take what is ours. They are wrong. We will show them what we have built. We will show them what humanity can do when threatened. And when this is over, they will understand that we are not prey. We are not victims. We are a species that survives. Across the fleet, crews listened to her words. Many had been living in the cloud for years, away from family and friends, all for this moment. Shadow Fleet, prepare for fold space jump on my mark. The massive engines of 200 ships began to glow with power. Space-time bent around the fleet as fold drives activated. Mark! The Shadow Fleet vanished into fold space, leaving the cloud empty and dark once again. In the silence they left behind, humanity's secret was finally revealed. The small, weak species that the Council had dismissed was gone. In its place was something new, something powerful. 18 hours later, the Shadow Fleet would emerge near the border. The Council would learn the truth about humanity, and the galaxy would never be the same. Wing Commander No One sat in the neural link chamber aboard the carrier Endless Sky. Cables connected to ports along his spine, linking his mind to 300 fighter drones in the ship's launch bays. He closed his eyes and felt the drones as extensions of his own body. Each one was armed, fast, and ready to fight. Together, they were a swarm that no enemy could stop. "Commander No," the carrier's captain said through his earpiece, "we jump in 5 minutes. Are you ready?" No smiled in the darkness of the link chamber. "I was born ready, Captain." The fleet was coming. The Council had no idea what was about to hit them. Humanity had been betrayed. Now humanity would answer. Stood on the command bridge of his flagship, the Pride. Around him, 800 warships waited in formation, the largest fleet assembled in 3 centuries. This was his moment of triumph. "In 29 days, we will control Earth," he announced to his officers. "The human threat will be eliminated forever." His officers made sounds of approval. They had waited years for this opportunity. Humans had grown too quickly, learned too much, discovered technologies that should have remained hidden. The ancient gateways were too powerful for such a young species. The Council would take them, and humanity would be pushed back to their home planet, never to leave again. Allowed himself a rare smile. Everything had gone according to plan. The fake attack footage, the rigged vote, the capture of the human delegation. Humans were so trusting, so naive. They actually believed the council wanted them as equals. An officer called out, "We are receiving strange readings at the edge of the system." "What kind of readings?" "Unknown, sir. Some kind of energy distortion. It could be a natural phenomenon." Waved his hand dismissively. "Monitor it, but do not concern yourself. Nothing out here can threaten this fleet." He was wrong. Space itself tore open at 17 different points around the Council fleet. Through these tiers came the Shadow Fleet, emerging from fold space in perfect formation. 200 black ships surrounded 800 Council vessels in seconds. "What is this?" shouted. "Where did they come from?" His officers scrambled to identify the newcomers. The computer systems could not match the ship designs to any known species. "Sir, they appear to be human." "Impossible. Humans have 50 ships at most. Our intelligence confirmed this. These ships are not in any database. They are completely unknown." On the bridge of the Eternal Vigilance, Vice Admiral watched the chaos spreading through the Council fleet with satisfaction. Surprise was complete. The enemy had no idea what was happening. "Open a channel to all Council vessels," she ordered. Her communication officer made it happen. Every ship in the Council fleet now received her transmission. "Attention Council forces. This is Vice Admiral Bai of the Human Shadow Fleet. You are surrounded. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your engines cannot outrun us. We offer you one chance to surrender and avoid unnecessary loss of life. Power down your weapons and prepare to be escorted to neutral space." For a moment, there was only silence across all channels. Then's voice crackled through. "This is a trick. Humans cannot have such a fleet. All ships open fire." 800 Council warships turned their weapons on the human vessels. Thousands of energy beams and missiles filled space with death. Did not even flinch. All ships activate absorption shields. The human fleet lit up with a soft blue glow as shields activated. Council weapons struck the shields and simply stopped. The energy was absorbed, converted, stored. Lieutenant Commander Oda watched her display with amazement. "Shield power is increasing, Vice Admiral. They are feeding us." "Return fire," ordered. "Disable only, target engines and weapons." The human fleet responded with perfect coordination. Phase cannons fired silent beams of light that passed through Council shields like they did not exist. Ship after ship went dark as their systems failed. "What is happening?" screamed on his bridge. "Why are our shields not working?" "Their weapons bypass our defenses," an officer reported in terror. "We have no protection against them. All ships retreat, fall back to space." But it was too late. The human fleet had them surrounded. There was nowhere to run. Wing Commander No. 1 sent his drones swarm into the battle. 300 fighters moved as one, controlled by his thoughts. They danced between Council ships, firing precise shots at engine pods and weapon arrays. Other carrier pilots did the same. Thousands of drones swarmed through the Council fleet like angry insects. They were too fast, too numerous, too coordinated. Council point defense systems could not track them. Within the first hour, 300 Council ships were disabled. Their crews were alive, but their vessels were dead in space. Watched the battle unfold with a mix of satisfaction and sorrow. This was necessary, but it brought her no joy. War never did. "Vice Admiral," her tactical officer reported, "the flagship is attempting to break through our lines." On the display, ship was making a desperate run toward empty space. Its weapons fired wildly at any human vessel in range. "Commander No, disable that ship." No's drones converged on the Pride. 50 fighters surrounded it, firing precisely at its engine systems. The flagship shuddered and went dark, drifting helplessly. "Ship is disabled," the tactical officer confirmed. "Boarding teams are standing by." "Send them in, I want alive." While Marines boarded the flagship, the battle continued. But it was no longer a battle. It was a demonstration. Human ships moved through the Council fleet with ease, disabling vessel after vessel while taking almost no damage themselves. After 3 hours, it was over. 500 Council ships were disabled. 200 had surrendered voluntarily. 100 had been destroyed when they refused to stop firing at human vessels. The human fleet had lost 12 ships. Ambassador and Admiral sat in their cells on Paramount Station, listening to fragmented reports coming through the guards' communication devices. The guards had stopped pretending to be calm. They were terrified. "Human fleet, impossible numbers, our ships are falling." Looked at through the energy barrier between their cells. "They came." "Of course they came," replied. "Did you ever doubt?" "No, but I did not expect this." Neither had she. The report spoke of 200 human warships, technology beyond anything the galaxy had seen, and a battle that lasted only hours. It seemed impossible, but it was happening. The door to the detention area opened. Human Marines in black armor entered, their weapons ready. Behind them came an officer recognized from intelligence briefings. "Ambassador," the officer said, "I am Lieutenant Park from the rescue team. We are here to take you home." The energy barriers deactivated, and stepped out of their cells, free for the first time in days. "What is happening out there?" asked. "We won," Lieutenant Park said simply. "The Council fleet is destroyed, is in custody. The war is over." Took a deep breath. Over. It was over. But she knew that the real work was just beginning. Military victory was only the first step. Now came the harder challenge, building a new relationship with the galaxy. As she walked toward the shuttle that would take her to the human fleet, she thought about what came next. The Council had betrayed humanity, but humanity had shown mercy in return. They had won without becoming monsters. Perhaps that was the most important victory of all. 1 month had passed since the battle. The Galactic Council chamber on Paramount Station looked different now. Human guards stood at every entrance. Human ships patrolled outside the station. The balance of power had shifted completely. Ambassador Jin walked into the chamber with confidence she had never felt before. Behind her came Fleet Admiral Park Dongwoo in his formal uniform, a reminder of the military strength that humanity now commanded. The council seats were filled, but the mood was very different from before. Fear showed on every alien face. The species that had voted for humanity's destruction now waited to learn their fate. Was not among them. He sat in chains at the center of the chamber, a prisoner awaiting judgment. His 4 eyes were empty of the arrogance they once held. High Speaker rose from his seat. The representative had not participated in the betrayal, and he had been chosen to mediate these negotiations. "Ambassador," said carefully, "the Council recognizes humanity's victory and awaits your terms." Stepped onto the central platform. She looked around the chamber at the species that had tried to destroy her people. She could demand anything now: execution of the conspirators, destruction of their fleets, conquest of their worlds. Humanity had the power to do all of this. But that was not why they had fought. "The Galactic Council committed crimes against humanity," began. "You fabricated evidence. You imprisoned diplomats. You planned invasion and conquest. These actions cannot go unpunished." She paused, letting her words sink in. "However, humanity does not seek revenge. We seek justice, and we seek a future where such betrayal cannot happen again." From her position, she presented the terms. "The 5 species that participated in the conspiracy will pay reparations to Earth over the next 20 years. Your military fleets will be reduced by half and placed under human monitoring. Your governments will accept human observers to ensure compliance. Murmurs spread through the chamber. These terms were harsh, but they were not cruel. Many had expected far worse. Will stand trial for crimes against sentient species, continued. His own people staged an attack on their colony, killing 50,000 innocent lives to frame humanity. He ordered this murder. He will answer for it. Made no response. He seemed broken, all his schemes destroyed. The species that did not participate in the conspiracy will face no punishment. They are free to continue their membership in the Council. However, the Council itself must change. Activated a holographic display showing her proposal. Humanity will join the Council as a full member with permanent voting rights. All species will have equal standing. No more provisional memberships. No more second-class citizens of the galaxy. High Speaker studied the proposal. These terms are reasonable, more reasonable than many expected. We are not monsters, replied. We never were. The Council feared us because we grew quickly and learned fast. You thought our advancement was a threat. You were wrong. Humanity's advancement could have benefited everyone. It still can. She brought up another display, showing the ancient gateway network that humanity had discovered. This technology could connect every world in the galaxy. Travel that now takes weeks could happen in hours. Trade and communication would flourish. All species would benefit. The Council representatives leaned forward with interest. Even in their defeat, they could not hide their curiosity about the gateways. Humanity will share this technology, announced. Not immediately and not with everyone. Species that prove themselves trustworthy will gain access over time. Those who choose cooperation over fear will be rewarded. Fleet Admiral Park stepped forward to address the military aspects. The human fleet will maintain a peacekeeping presence in former conflict zones. We will prevent any species from attempting what the tried. Anyone who threatens galactic peace will face the same response they witnessed last month. His words were calm but carried absolute weight. Everyone in the chamber had seen the footage of the battle. They knew what human ships could do. However, Park continued, our goal is not dominance. It is stability. We want to build a galaxy where species work together instead of plotting against each other. This will take time and trust. We are willing to invest both. The voting came next. Species voted one by one on humanity's terms. The result was unanimous acceptance. No one dared to refuse. When it was over, felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The crisis was resolved. Humanity had survived and emerged stronger. Was taken away for trial. The conspirator species began negotiations on reparation payments. The neutral species approached human representatives to discuss trade and cooperation. Walked to the observation window of the chamber. From here, she could see human ships patrolling alongside council vessels. A new order was taking shape. Vice Admiral Bai appeared beside her. The fleet commander had come to the station for the ceremony. Ambassador said, the fleet is ready to begin peacekeeping operations. Where do you want us to start? The border worlds, replied. Their people are scared and confused. They need to see that humanity is not here to conquer them. We are here to help. Nodded, I will make it happen. As the Vice Admiral walked away to give orders, thought about everything that had happened. 1 month ago, she had been a prisoner facing the destruction of her species. Now she was helping to reshape the galaxy. Humanity had been betrayed, but they had not responded with hatred. They had shown strength without cruelty, power without abuse. They had won the respect of the galaxy not through fear alone, but through mercy. This was what made humans special, not their technology or their military might, but their ability to face the worst and still choose to be better, to survive betrayal and respond with justice instead of revenge. High Speaker approached her at the window. Ambassador, I must confess something. When humanity first joined the Council, I thought you were just another young species, eager, ambitious but ultimately forgettable. And now asked, "Now I understand why some of my colleagues were afraid of you," paused. "But I also understand why that fear was foolish. Humanity is not a threat to the galaxy. You may be its salvation." Smiled slightly. "That is very kind, High Speaker, but we are not saviors. We are just survivors. We do what we must to protect our people and our values. Perhaps that is what the galaxy needs most." Outside the window, human ships moved in formation with vessels from a dozen species. Old enemies were becoming new partners. Old fears were fading into understanding. The Council had betrayed humanity. They had tried to destroy a species they did not understand. In the end, that betrayal had created something unexpected. Not an enemy, but a guardian. Not a conqueror, but a leader. Humanity had found its place among the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same. In a quiet moment, Ambassador looked out at the endless stars and thought about the future. There would be challenges ahead, problems to solve, conflicts to prevent. The work of building a better galaxy would never truly end. But humanity was ready. They had always been ready. That was the lesson the Council had learned too late. Humans did not just survive. They adapted, they grew, they overcame. And when they were pushed to the edge, they pushed back. The price of betrayal had been paid. Now came the reward of trust. A new era was beginning, and humanity would help write its story.